Hello, everybody. How are we all tonight? Hope we're doing good. Let me go share this out. I wonder if any. Do 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 do. Go live. New tab. So we're going to be drawing up Captain Future from Startling Comics. Hey, Metal, how are you? I will soon be in the room if you want to come on. Okay, there we go. Discord. Going live. And shit. A few people. Trying to get some people to come and watch. And of course, we are now going into the on-air room. And we're probably going to get started by Metal at some point. Captain Future in his scandalous hot pants. Yeah.
Hey, Rick.
Wow, I did not get startled. That is startling. How are you?
Oh, I am. I had to do some vocal recording just before this, so my throat is kind of strained.
Uh,
But aside from that, I'm doing fine. I gotta jump from one thing to the next. Now I gotta draw a picture.
uh, yeah, well, today, I haven't quite, I finished two of them. Actually, I gotta finish one. Gotta get the colors tight on this one. That is Jason Post's The Flames' son. He's supposed to be 5 years old. And that's his wife, and did his daughter. That does not make sense. That did not come out like I intended it. I drew up the daughter and colored her and all that. That sounds better, I think. uh, so, what do you got to draw up? Middle?
It's private.
Oh, okay.
Type thing.
Oh, okay. I just figured, since you said you had something to draw up, I'd ask what it was, but I get it. So, did you check out the Torco video earlier?
Yeah.
I think you were about the only one. Last time I looked, only one person had checked it out, which is sort of sad. Yeah, one person.
Oh, you know, it is what it is.
One person with one like. Yeah.
Well, Rick, you know I get notifications for all your stuff, even if you don't post it in the Discord, but...
I posted it, I posted the Going Lives video place.
Yeah, no, I got it. I'm just saying, like, Even if you didn't, I personally would get your notification.
Oh, okay.
That bell rung.
Okay. So I'm just trying to figure out what I. Oh, I know what I want. Want a couple of the pictures up here so I can actually know what I'm. I got it, on my whatchamacallit, but it's not that big. The picture of oh, what's his name? Captain Future. There's like what 3 or 4 different Captain Futures.
I'm not surprised. It's a very obvious name.
Yeah, I guess I would just think, that with the name, whoever was the first person to do it, they wouldn't just be able to go and make another one. I thought you would think that name would have been copyrighted or trademarked or whatever.
Rick, this was the Wild West days of all of that.
True, but usually they say copyright, have the indicia in these things, right? I don't know.
Yeah, what it means you can't copy the character. That doesn't mean you you can't have a character with the same name unless you go out and trademark it.
So you could have a character of the same name, but if you just copyright it, not if you trademark it.
Yeah, well, because what the name implies is it could be anything, right? It is the name of a character in the world, right? And any character in the world could have the same name, especially if their name's made of common words, because you can't trademark just a common word by itself, something that's like in the lexicon. So like you can't trademark the word captain, you can't trademark the word future by itself, but you could get a trademark for Captain Future in the domain where it matters, and it only matters if somebody's even trying to use the trademark in which it might confuse the brand or property. So a lot of times if somebody is like a music artist named Captain Future, and you have a automobile repair shop called Captain Future, the trademarks there would not come into conflict with each other necessarily, right?
Yeah.
You can't really stop somebody from calling something in their world the same name. But if the idea is functionally the same, and actually sometimes the idea matters more than the name of the character, unless you can prove parody, it would be more against copyright if somebody drew Captain Future in their world and tried to call him something else without it being parody.
Okay.
Because it's the idea that matters, not what you call the idea. So you could have like 5 or 6 completely different characters with the same name. But you couldn't just be like, oh, I want Captain Future in my story, so I'm going to draw the exact same character, or even write. You could just write that it's the same character, describe it and everything, in my story without getting permission from the copyright holder, or waiting until he's public domain, like he is now. That's where they can come after you, because you're infringing on the idea. But branding names and all that is under trademark. That is completely under the realm of trademark.
Okay, I thought it was a bit of both, because I know, say, one of the more famous ones, of course, Captain Marvel. DC has the copyright, but Marvel has the trademark.
DC never had to change the name, ever. They just decided to not confuse their own brand.
Yeah, I know. Well, I know that in essence that they didn't have to change the name. They just could never, put his name on a cover or call a book Captain Marvel.
Though, because they could have called it DC's Captain Marvel. If the actual title of the book was DC's Captain, or even like Action Comics Captain Marvel, because that's the more of the brand he would have been in back then, right? If they had a longer name, they could, because they can make their own Thor. They've had to,
Yeah. Yeah.
you just need a longer name.
Yeah. Well,
Because that's where
Thor.
you start getting into the trademark part.
Well, with Thor, I think because Thor is an ancient
He's a public
god.
Yeah.
Would you even be able to do a trademark on Thor because of him being a Norse?
Actually, they have a trademark on Thor.
Okay.
Do I think they should be able to maintain one? No, but nobody's going to challenge it. That's the other thing about trademarks. Even though you're not technically supposed to be able to put a trademark onto things that are part of the common lexicon on their own, without combinations of things, a lot of times they still get through, especially if they're older, unless somebody actually challenges it. But that would be a court case nobody wants to spend money on.
Yeah. I guess because I was just thinking anybody could, I've said before, anybody could do their own Thor and bring it out, but
Yeah, absolutely, because he's a Norse god. But I'm just showing that's a trademark case.
yeah.
Where if you can bypass somebody's specific trademark if you end up having like a longer or more specific name, because the whole point of trademark is brand recognition and not to confuse brands. So, could you trademark Captain Marvel being a newer? Yes, but there's no real copyright around the names Captain and Marvel together.
Yeah.
The copyright is the character because you copyright ideas. The trademark is towards the name Captain Marvel.
Yeah. I believe I.
And their Captain Marvels are completely different, so that's not an issue.
Yeah.
And they also gained the older one of the two, so the argument would have been in their favor there.
Yeah, although I do think they did go to court over it at one point.
Yeah, it was settled outside of court.
Oh, so they didn't go to actual court? They settled with
if I recall, they went to discovery, which is still going to court, right? The discovery phase of any court case is when you put down all the information, because both sides have to have access to all the information involved.
Yeah.
But I believe from what I heard, they actually basically pulled back and settled the matter outside of court. But it's been a while since I looked into it. They could have went a little bit further.
Okay.
I don't think they actually resolved with the case finishing.
Okay. I know I've heard, of course, about at least that one. I've heard about a few of them, but I think that's one of the more famous ones of all the. But again, I don't know all the exact details because I didn't look into it that much. Just I listened to a couple videos on it
before, but it's been years since I've looked into that specifically.
I've listened to a couple videos going over the whole thing by people, but again, I don't really remember everything. So it's just sort of as you were saying, it's been years too since I even did that. So. Okay, I really got some work to do on this one when I get to getting things done. So what else is there to talk about?
Actually, I think I can't actually tell you what I'm drawing. I guess because I don't think the person who this is going to would even be watching this. I had a funny idea. This is for Marsupial's birthday, which I forget the direct day, but it is sometime between now and the rest of the week.
Ah,
So I'm trying to get it done by then. But the idea was that he likes Freerun and he likes Dragon Quest, right? And that gave me a funny joke that came to mind about the phrase from Freerun, which is because that's what what Himmel the hero would do, or that's what Himmel the hero would have done.
okay.
So I'm like, what if I redrew Freerun in the outfit of the hero from the original Dragon Quest, who's supposed to be from the Great Heroes line, right? And be like, why is the hero doing it? And I just replace Himmel's name with the hero from Dragon Quest, which I went with the Japanese name. A lot of people would know the first trilogy's hero as Erdrick, but that is the Americanized name. I went with the Loto, or Roto, which is the Japanese. So I have most of the pencils here. I would probably ink it shortly. But I have Freerun saying, because that's what Loto, the hero, would have done. I think it's funny if
Yeah,
you know both franchises.
yeah. Which probably Marsupial does. So
Oh, he absolutely does, yeah.
because you had to explain it all, it's not quite as funny, and I don't really follow either of those franchises. It's not again not probably quite as funny to me.
Understandable.
Which is
But
all
you
right.
did ask what I was drawing, and that is what I'm drawing.
Yeah, which is I'm not sure what to say. Yeah, there used to be a time that you wouldn't be able to say that because Marsupial was here a lot more in the chat. But
Yeah.
he's probably not lately. Probably not doing a lot of watching of streams. If I guess right,
Maybe.
or you
He's really
could.
busy, so that's probably a lot to do with it. I mean, he's at work right now.
Yeah, he's working for
I think
this.
he does. He watches more videos and stuff, because he's like working on what's it called, coding. Right, that's what he does for his day job. And he just needs something that he can listen to in the background. And I think typically it not being live is probably better than not. Though knowing him, if he was breaking that, is probably because he's listening to Asmongold.
Yeah, almost surprised somebody isn't here yet.
I think that somebody is probably busy setting up his new computer.
Oh yeah. For sure. Somebody say I think that's a good thing.
If you say so.
I don't know. Oh. So you want to? You were saying you want to get that done by the end of the week. That
No, I want to get
image.
this done today.
Yeah.
But it's simply a penciled and inked black and white image. So the fact that
Uh,
I'm almost completely done with the pencils and on the inking part, I should have it done by today.
yeah. I take it you're doing that traditionally.
Yeah, yeah. It's traditional. I'm gonna post it. I like scanned it and stuff, but going to probably knowing him go out and buy a frame. I'm not buying a frame for this. He just gets the picture. He can do with it what he wants after that.
Yeah. You're nice enough to do the drawing and give it to him.
That is my wheelhouse, is the drawing itself.
These hands are just a little too much. When I redo them, I'm gonna have to make them a little not so massive. Maybe they're not quite as massive as I think, looking at his hands. I, I don't know.
You've been up to anything else today?
Uh, well, was it last night or the night before? I started watching The Boys, and I finished watching them today. The most
No, you know
present.
what? Oddly, is I don't watch The Boys, but I did see it. Because Marsupial was catching up on it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a series when it first came out. I never even had heard, didn't hear about it, and I never heard about it when it first aired. But I watched the first few episodes. I like it, so I should try and download. Since you say My Hero Academia is done, should download, I think, seasons 5 through, or maybe 4 through 8. And watch those kids. Yeah, I'm not sure whether I left off at 4 or 5, or I think I got through 3. Because I know it had even been a probably about a year before my mom died that I had watched any of it. So now a few years later, obviously. Well, and you were saying it's done at season 8. Hey, Fitzjoe, he is in the chat.
Is what Google told me when we looked it up. So
Yeah.
Hi, Rick and Metal.
Hello.
howdy.
You got your new? Are you on your new computer?
Yes, I'm on my new computer at the moment. Literally at the moment. Oh, that's what I'm using to talk to you. And
Cool.
talk to the audience in the chat. If they're about the nearly non-existent audience that there is. Uh, uh, one thing I will say about this computer is somewhat hard to navigate. Gotta get used to this. This is one of those computers where the touchpad, mouse, and the click button is the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I've got one of those.
So I gotta
Mine
get
has
used
a
to that.
separation line to make it a little bit easier, but you can technically click anywhere on the touchpad.
There's no separation line here, so I'm just.
No.
Oh, so this takes some getting used to, but for the most part, I'm seeing like I'm back in action. I made sure that my mom bought one with a built-in graphics card, so now, but I hadn't tested it yet. I hadn't played a game or anything like that yet. So
Okay.
I did re-download Blender and video editor.
Cool. Ocast is here in the chat and says, "Hi everyone, Rick. Your volume is too high, and Metals is too low. I don't
Oh,
get
is
how."
it?
I'm not sure if people care if they can hear me, though. So that's the thing.
Well, he might have said that before you got in here or were talking or whatever.
I want that, but anyways, I came on. I want to ask this: Is Edward McCoffin the most famous gay video game character that people know is gay?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
So that should probably answer your question.
that's okay. Edward McCoffin is from Call of Duty Zombies. The German mad science guy.
Oh, you know what? I never paid attention to his name. I've played.
Yeah, you never paid attention to his name.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I quite
by the
like
way-
I think the sort of pseudo tower defense wave management mode is really fun.
Yeah, again, well, from looking at the gameplay footage online on my phone, it legitimately looked like it should be an entirely different game franchise. Like you got Borderlands level weapons, and like, what the hell? Like, well, what, I'm just, yeah, but but like, what is the most famous gay video game character? Yeah, I'm not even sure.
Let me think about that.
What is the most
Look, 'cause I don't have
famous
the
gay
Gay
video game character.
Yeah, I would have no idea because I don't follow stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it would
neither
have
do
to
I.
be
But I'm just thinking.
like an extremely popular game, but it would also have to be in something that the people would even know, right? Like, even pulling up like Call of Duty, extremely popular game. I guarantee you, even of the people who played Zombies, which isn't even like the entirety of the people who have played Black Ops.
Hmm.
Like the DLC does not have the same sales percentage that the game did when they first added it, and even when they include it, it doesn't have the same player rate as the normal lobbies. So even amongst the people who've played it, I don't know how many people might also be in the boat of me where they didn't pay attention to the lore; they just played the game.
Yeah,
I mean,
they might not even know the
eh,
characters.
I know,
Gay.
I know it is. It's in the title of the game. It's Gay Tony from GTA: The Ballad of Gay Tony.
Oh, oh, okay. Okay. But I want to say, but the characters in Call of Duty Zombies talk during the gameplay, so it's not like why
Yeah,
you
but you
like
don't pay
controlling.
attention. You're in a lobby with other people. You're talking over them.
Yeah, and
Like,
just
like,
because
Edward,
a
Edward talked
character
a lot when you talk.
and just because a character talks doesn't mean anything. Maybe what they say might give it away. Obviously, you're
No,
listening.
almost all of his dialogue is gay sex jokes.
Yeah, again, that wouldn't even make him gay. It would just make him. I'm not sure what you'd say.
Well, it's
Actually,
also, like I said, I'm not paying attention to what he's saying. I'm playing. When I first played that game, I'm playing it on a computer, in a LAN party with like my college roommates and one of our friends. We're not paying attention to anything's being said in the game. We're just going through it.
Speaking of college roommates, one of his lines is it's a tiny gun, but it has a huge barrel, just like my college roommate. Uh, that's not the only jokes like that. He has a bunch more. Uh,
yeah. Well, I'm not.
like
I wouldn't even really consider that a gay joke.
well, no, that's not the only one. He has a bunch more. A
Well,
whole, like there's a
yeah.
whole slew of them.
I get that he has a whole bunch more jokes. I'm just saying I would not really consider that joke gay. It's a guy, another guy razzing another guy, or razzing, although the guy's not there.
I don't know. Maybe he was rizzing the other guy back when they shared a dorm.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, but it's funny how he's a World War One soldier who acts like this, supposed to act like this, like, huh? But I'm like, but he's a mad scientist then though who has cosmic level ability. So I'm like, whatever.
Like
I
I
mean,
So I
said,
don't
there were
think he
gay
got.
soldiers in World War One, so.
No, I mean, yeah,
okay,
but at the same time, it's not like anyone can do anything to him. He's like a cosmic level mad scientist. So
Well,
why
yeah,
would he
back in
care?
World War One, pretty much any gay soldier would have been firmly in the closet.
Yeah, but he's
Wouldn't
like
tell
open.
anybody.
Yeah, he's like openly gay for some reason. But it's
yeah,
not like anyone could do anything to him because anything to him because again he's like a cosmic level mad scientist. Like he invented wonder weapons that can obliterate a lost swath of zombies. Like he canonically he invented all those wonder weapons.
yeah. Okay,
Oh,
I
that's
And he
said,
also did time travel and stuff. So he doesn't care.
okay, I said that Fitzgerald's volume is low as well. I don't think that's due to you guys. That's due to not Discord, but OBS for some reason. Wants to make me. I put you guys up. How are and put mine down in OBS? How are the volumes now? Outcast.
Uh,
I think I'm definitely, even though the hero from Dragon Quest doesn't wear a skirt, I'm definitely going to keep the skirt part of Freeren's design, because it's less I have to draw if I do.
I get that.
yeah, but I'm still weirded out by how that why that game mode even has a story of its own. Like it's a shit. Like when we add lore to this, it feels like it should be its own game. That
No.
this
The
wasn't just a
thing is,
game.
I've never ever felt like it should be its own game. Playing it.
I mean, you have
But
like
in older games like that, I expect goofy, fun side modes. They kind of, aside from zombies, they stopped doing that, and they still kind of only do it with the line that goes with Black Ops. Um, it's technically the first one was World at War, but which Black Ops is kind of a follow-up to World at War story-wise, if you think about it. So it still works, but it's just a goofy side mode.
mm,
I also just don't know how well the game would sell on its own. Like you could probably make it a standalone DLC where like you could buy it without needing the base game. Because like they're just going to reuse the assets anyway, regardless whether they made it a standalone game or not. You just would not expect it to sell as well as the main games because the DLC isn't close to parity with the main game sell. Like maybe half the people who buy a Black Ops game might get the zombies.
Yeah. And the thing is,
But then
zombies
you
are,
have, but then you have some companies making entirely different entire side games that are nothing like the main game. Like Metal Gear stealth video game franchise. Yeah, you have Metal Gear Rising, which is like a hack and slash game by what's that company again? The same company make Bayonetta, the Bayonetta folks.
Yeah, Platinum Games was involved, but I don't think they were the main developer on that. I'm trying to remember because I love Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. That game is.
I've mentioned this before, but I would like a game based around combo weapons like Dead Rising, but starring Otakon. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably see it.
Because
Overall, what
Otakon's
they do with it.
yeah, because Otakon's stick is that he's like a hacker and he loves giant robots. Let's have a game where he can build his own mech suits and like build his own Metal Gears and stuff. That'd be cool.
and hello, Mike. How are you tonight, Mike? Mike Walters is in the chat. Yeah, but for them to do DLCs like that, they have to think that it's going to be worth. They'll make money on it, you know.
Well, I mean,
It'll
they
be
could do a standalone game. At this point, though, because they've done standalone games like that before, that honestly is a risk they probably should take doing something like that. Maybe spin-off games about like Otakon or any of the other characters. Heck, make a Revolver Ocelot shooting gallery game for all I care at this point. Trick shots and everything. That could be kind of fun. But because they haven't touched Metal Gear as a franchise in a while, part of that is losing / firing Hideo Kojima, who is the brain behind Metal Gear. So they would need to basically get a new creative lead for that franchise if they wanted to. Probably make them some money. But if you didn't want to make like a new Metal Gear, like a Metal Gear Solid 6 to follow up because Kojima was the creative mind behind that, spin-off games like that would be the perfect place to expand that. You probably wouldn't even want to make a Rising sequels because unless you got like a new creative director, that was also Kojima vision. He just handed the stuff off to the other team after like basically making the groundwork for it. So, make some new spin-offs where you could have like a new creative lead just kind of like take over and decide what to do.
Yeah. Let's see, Mike says, overall, okay, but found out some disappointing news earlier today that I will be addressing on tonight's show. Okay. You want to give a hint as to what it might be, Mike? Maybe to gain some interest? Next week, I might be drawing one of Hero Shack's characters because Hero Shack has a campaign up right now for number 10 for Cyclopean.
Also, I want to talk. People still for some reason I keep seeing this on my YouTube feed. People still talking about how badly written Sister Sage is from the boys. I'm like, why are we still talking about it? Why talking about this? It was already bad. She was already bad at written season 4 when she was introduced. The whole super genius who was just really dumb and has no playing skills. I don't know how you do that when they already had Edgar was always basically written as an actual smart person. So how do you fumble the ball this badly? I don't know.
Well, she's a lot younger than Edgar, So she doesn't have as much experience. And
She's supposed to be a super. She's supposed to be a compound V superhuman with superhuman intelligence. That doesn't make. Well, she yeah.
She's been as smart as like a college student since she was 4-year-old. That's like in the lore.
I know. And that makes no sense. How she's dumber? She's dumber than Edgar, even though she's supposed to be a super genius. Huh?
Yeah, I normally don't watch the show, but I have read the comic to a degree. But I did have to watch the last 2 episodes last night because that's what Marsupial was watching, and I was out there eating dinner. And yeah, I actually do find her incredibly dumb. Because the thing is, if you want a character to be smart, you just need them to do things without explaining what they're doing, right? You need to let the audience fill in the gaps of things. And the thing that really got me on how dumb she is just like saying when V1 was given from Soldier Boy to Homelander, it's like, that's not supposed to happen. As if Soldier Boy hasn't been an emotionally driven, unpredictable actor since he was reintroduced into the series.
Yeah, but the thing is, she thinks she knows how to predict human things.
Yeah, humans are predictable.
And that part of me for that is because the writers for the Boys TV show has admitted they don't want to introduce any form of technology, advanced technology in the show, even though outside of Compound V, even stuff we have in real life like cloning. That's why they changed Black Mirror.
Yeah, but the thing, what I was more thinking, Edgar is like, what, 60, 70? She's what, supposed to be in her 20s, maybe 30s?
It doesn't matter.
I'm just saying, there comes a lot more, you may have a lot of head knowledge and be a genius that way, but there comes a lot of knowledge just from living life, too.
Well, okay, knowledge has nothing to do with whether somebody is a genius or not.
Yeah. Well, yes.
That's all intelligence, which is how fast your brain processes patterns and information. Which actually comes down to how fast your neurons fire. Yeah. Assuming that your brain is operating normally. There's some other things where you can have fast firing neurons and they aren't good at detecting patterns, but that's usually specific ailments or disorders or whatever. But typically, intelligence is directly correlative with how fast your neurons fire. If your neurons, which they don't vary that much, but individual small variances can make a big difference collectively, right? So like reflexes. If your reflexes are twice as fast as somebody, which is about the highest we ever expect them to be, right? For neurons to fire, twice as fast. That would give you a quotient close to 200, right? Then when that single reflex, which is only 2 neurons, one chain, one firing to the other, is displayed, it's also indicative that when you have complex chains, like things that are anywhere between 20 to hundreds of neurons long, that you're going to finish that chain much faster than somebody else because it's like running twice as fast. If somebody's running twice as fast as you, in short distance, it doesn't feel like they're running that fast, right? You're like, oh, I'm just a little bit behind. But in long distances, it feels like that scene from Captain America with the Falcon, where he's going like on your left, and he's just passing you over and over again.
Yeah,
that's how intelligence functions. In a way that maybe most people can understand.
Yeah, but you also have to have the information and the knowledge to go with the intelligence. If you don't have the knowledge,
I'm just saying, like, all of that stuff's almost disregarding here because apparently she supposedly has all the information. The show sets it up that way. She has her network that's been getting all the possible information the entire time.
Yeah, the show's went downhill, like severely.
Yeah, well, for me,
for example, they keep retconning stuff between seasons. To fit what the writers want to do now. Like in in the for the past two or three seasons, they decided to just make have Homelander just beat Trump. Like, he was nothing like Trump in the first two seasons and all.
Or the way the
Like,
left sees Trump, anyways.
yeah, I guess give my I don't give my I'm not a Trump supporter, but at the same time, they just the riots decide just make him Trump, and that's fine. Like, because the
Yeah.
first like last first two or three seasons, he was not nothing like Trump at all, basically. He's a,
No.
They also played way more into the God complex thing than the comic did.
I know.
Yeah. Um,
But that's always the risk. Whenever you decide to diverge from the source material, it's like, oh, great. Well, now you need to figure out how to fill that gap. And you may not be good at filling in the gap. You might even be better storyteller overall than the person who made the source material. But they also had the vision of how the world worked in their head. So you can go and you can take their thing and tell the story better. But if you start like weaving off onto your own and making things up, you're in uncharted territory. And personally, I do think, at least early on, while I don't really like either of them, I think the show runners are a better storyteller than Ennis is. Like they handle the pacing and everything much better. But they clearly don't understand his world as much as he does.
which in some ways
Yeah.
you would expect.
Yeah, it's kind of that is the expected situation.
Yeah, because like this like this lot of stuff just gets dropped. The stuff about Valk and Homeland and H-Train intentionally creating supervillains. Well, when did that plot thread scene just kind of got dropped? Yeah, even though that was a big point in season one. We stopped focusing on after season two. They just stopped mattering. Like what?
Yeah. Well, and they also started getting into a bunch of issues with having to keep their timeline straight when it came to having like spin-off shows.
No, yeah, Gen V is awful.
Do they have a
Yeah.
spin? Do they have a
I
spin-off?
tried watching the first episodes. The first season when that came out was awful. Yeah, yes, Gen
I've seen a
V.
few episodes of Gen V. It's basically it's a school for supers,
Okay.
but it's
I know.
actually more of like a containment and monitoring facility more than anything that's pretending to be a school.
Okay, okay, but exactly. But the thing is, that was not interesting because why would I want to see that in this universe, in this specific universe? Because
Wow.
the supers are all awful people. So even the younger initiates are all awful people going in because they were born with privilege in the form of their powers, since they were given powers as a baby and well expected and just loose cannons.
Yeah,
To
you know,
do
the
drugs.
whole point is like everybody's awful in that world. In the comics, I don't watch the show enough to know if it translates as well. But in the comics, the boys are worse than the Seven. The Seven are just something that needs to be taken down.
Yeah, I know, but TV show changed that, by the way. Kim, the TV show changed that.
Did it make them better people?
Yes, in comparison, they are better people. In comparison, they are definitely better people. Uh, yeah, like in the TV show changed that a lot. Even though they're still murderers, like murderers, but they're not doing a lot of stuff Supes are doing. They're not you don't see any of the boys like I'm not even going to describe it. The Supes are way worse in the show than the boys are.
Okay. That's what I was picking up from the few episodes I've ever seen, but I didn't want to make that generalization off of only seeing a few episodes.
Okay.
For all I know, I
yeah.
could have seen the very few episodes where they're acting their best and missed all the stuff where they're acting their worst, right?
most of the boys are actually trying to be good people, except for maybe Butcher. So they're actually trying to be, they're actually trying to be relatively moral. Like even Butcher is less evil than he was in the comic. It's way less.
I can believe that, but unfortunately, it's like almost anything that goes from book to visual. I shouldn't say visual
Medium.
media, but TV or movies. They always diverge, you
'cause-
know.
Technically, comic books are visual medium, but
Exactly.
Yeah,
motion.
but
They're called
yeah,
motion
and it-
pictures originally.
Book motion. Yeah.
because like heck, just The Walking Dead again. There's one, and it is so different the comic than the TV show.
Yeah. That's still the proper name for that medium is motion pictures. Like the association for it is still called the Motion Pictures Association of America.
I know.
And I think
know.
it's the best name we could use because, like, we don't want to call them films. Most of them aren't made with film anymore, right? A lot of them are digital. Same thing with, like, well, we could call some things animations, or you can even call cartoons when it's appropriate. But so many animations involved in so many things now that it's like, well, what's not an animation? Unless somebody just deliberately makes everything in-camera live action. That motion pictures, I think, is probably the only catch-all term that works still, and it's the original term.
Yeah, and well, yeah, I think you saw me correcting myself when I went to say visual. It's like, well, it's like comics are visual
Yeah.
too.
No.
Just saying visual for TV or movies would be not a good thing to say when comics are the same thing. Or talking, comics versus movies or TV. So in a couple weeks, maybe metal. I might get your help
Yeah.
with. I might get your help with doing the combination ideas for Mortal Kombat with Street Fighter because I know some of the
Because I clearly know more about most of the characters.
Yeah, and I know a little bit about Street Fighter, especially probably the first two, maybe Fighting Street or Street Fighter. I forget what it was called. The first one.
It was the original one was Street Fighter.
Okay, because I remember. I don't even think it was.
No, the first one was mostly just like a single player game where you went through like a campaign.
Yeah.
It really became versus with two.
Yeah. I think you got the choice originally between Ken and Ryu.
Yeah, and you were just that one was a lot closer to fighting through similar like a tournament situation, but it was still like you were meeting different warriors around the world
Yeah.
to fight them, and you're basically trying to fight your way up in recognition so you can finally confront Sagat. That was the first one.
Yeah, I never made
then
it to
after
the end of that
that-
one.
You start introducing like Shadowloo and stuff.
Yeah, and so I know a little bit about those two because I played both of them. I probably played a little bit of the other ones, but nowhere near as much as 1 and 2. And then, of course, I think I played Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat 2. Again, I don't remember, and I know they have a whole bunch beyond that, and I don't know as much as I probably would need to know. But I think I want to only stick between 1 and 2 for both of them. Maybe even just number 1 for Mortal Kombat.
Okay. Though maybe also too, because Mortal Kombat 2 has mostly the same roster. It's not that much different, but it's
Yeah.
also the game that everybody has the most attachment to. So even if
Yeah.
you were to pick like people's images, it's probably best to pick the version from 2. Those are the most recognizable ones.
Yeah, that I have. Like, if a character appears in a few different games, I don't mind grabbing the images from different games and using their up to date costumes to, combine with the costumes. Because otherwise I'm going to have to, do 50 different costumes over that, however, how many segments. Because I'm only probably planning on doing 8 to 10 of these. Well, for main, maybe I might do some ones like I did with Torco.
Yeah.
But and I'm thinking, 8 to 10 because the original, and I remember the original, well, Street Fighter 2 had what, 8 to 10 characters that you could use to fight with.
I actually don't remember exactly what the roster size is in that one, but that sounds about right.
Yeah, because there's Ken, Ryu, Chun-Li, E Honda, Dalsum, Blanca. That's 6. Guile. And there was
There we
probably
go. I've got the screen in front of me. It's 4x4, so 16.
16. I didn't think there was that many in there. Well,
For Street
if
Fighter
you
2, yeah.
well, 16 characters, especially if you include Balrock, Vega, and Bison and Sagat.
Yeah. So you have Ryu, E Honda, Blanca. Though people often said Blanca. Guile, Ken, Chun-Li, Zangief, Dulcim, Cammy, T-Hawk, Fei Long, which is their Bruce Lee character, DJ, Balrog, Vega, Sagat, and Bison.
Cammy wasn't in the original number 2. And I think
You only want like the original version of it?
Yeah, that's what. Well, I was thinking in the original there was like,
Because most people play Turbo.
Yeah, nowadays, but like I might go beyond the original, but I was just thinking because there was only like 8 to 10 main characters that you could play, and I wanted to do combine some of the non-playable ones, like combining M Bison with like Shang Kahn or whatever the guy is from Mortal Kombat.
Now,
If you want the original Street Fighter 2, the World Warrior, right, then it's 12.
Okay. So 8 plus 4, right? 8.
Yeah.
The 8 main characters and then 4 other characters.
Yeah, before the Shadowloo characters are added, it is Ryu, Ken, E Honda, Chun-Li, Blanca, Guile, Zangief, Dulcim. Those are the 8 that are initially there.
Yeah.
And then you unlock the other 4.
Yeah. And that's the one that
in the arcade version, all of them are unlocked.
Yeah. And that's the one that I forgot to include at the end. It was Zangief. I forgot the Russian. But I'm not sure exactly who I might want to combine with who for that. Van Hoser says, Rick, why are you drawing a man in his underwear? Because that is the look of the character from 1940. 1940.
what is kind of confused, by the way? He's like, is he like what is he? I don't get it.
let's see. Crossing infrared band and gamma rays gives Dr. Andrew Bryant, mild young engineer, immense powers he uses to secretly. Well, let me see whether I can find out what his powers are. Publication hero. Power after bathing himself in gamma and infrared rays, Captain Future gained superhuman strength, flight, and the ability to project energy bolts through his hands. Although his powers are only temporary, he must expose himself to the radiation to recharge them. So, there's your gamma rays again.
Yeah, radiation is magic. That's what the plot needs to do.
But no wonder what's his name went with gamma rays. Stanley. Everybody else was going with gamma rays. Why not him? Or cosmic rays.
Yeah, like radiation is magic. That's where Ryan needs to. Like in the Marvel universe, gamma radiation is like a wish granting supernatural force. Like it's explained that it grants your greatest deepest desires. So that's why Samuel Stearns became a big-headed super genius, because he wanted to be smart. His older brother who went to college while he was stuck being a janitor, and that's why She-Hulk became sexy. Etc. Jennifer Walters became sexy when she became She-Hulk. Yeah. So yeah, it's not a light that breaks down chemicals like it is in our world.
Yeah. But they didn't know a lot about. Well, maybe they did.
No, it actually would have been common knowledge in scientific circles, but would have been known what gamma radiation does. But at least counting on the regular people not knowing that, especially the kids reading the comics at the time.
Yeah, that's the rule of cool like thing, right? So it's even less about counting on whether kids knew it or not, and more about if I were in the head of the kid, what would I expect a cool thing to happen if this happened?
Ooh, Outcast says I should do E Honda and Scorpion.
That would be a very crazy one, but okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could grapple him with the chain into like sumo wrestling.
Well, I wouldn't mind doing some crazy ones like that. I don't want to go. I'm not sure whether there's like I wouldn't want to probably do Ken and Ryu. Well, probably wouldn't want to do Ken with like Johnny Cage. That I know they're similar, but they're
kind of already doing that in the upcoming movie.
In the movie, it's out already.
Yeah. No, not the Johnny Cage one. The way they're treating Ken in the new Street Fighter movie, they're almost treating him a bit like Johnny Cage.
Oh, okay. But they have a little bit different look, but they're very I was gonna say similar. They're similar but not similar at the same time.
Listen, you could go full Double Dragon with them, and you could turn Ryu and Ken into like Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Ooh, I think I like that idea.
Especially because, like, even though Scorpion and Sub-Zero are not the main characters by far, though there have been times where Scorpion in media has been the main character, they are the face of Mortal Kombat, right? Like, Liu Kang and Johnny Cage are more main characters of the franchise. Liu Kang more than anyone else. But when people think of Mortal Kombat, they think of the Death
Scorpion
Ninjas.
and Sub Zero.
Yeah. They even
Especially
think of Reptile, but they forget his name.
And then there's Smoke, too. They think of
Yeah,
all the
Smoke too.
characters.
I love Smoke. Smoke's
Yeah,
so fun to play.
I know I played for in Mortal Kombat. I did play Scorpion or um Sub Zero a lot too. So
That and
yeah,
everybody always thinks of the get over here.
yeah. Where Ken and Ryu are definitely I would say the face of Street Fighter.
Oh, for sure.
oh, oh,
But and they
oh, oh,
actually are the main characters, so like it fits in that
Yeah,
case.
yeah.
I forgot. I saw the Stuart Fail Safe Universe trailer today.
Okay.
It just came out. It's not even nothing like the original Big Bang Theory at all. It's basically just it's some epic sci-fi show, or like where there's like aliens and robots and all kinds of crazy stuff going on.
Yeah, well,
Dimension
that
travel, whatever.
in a lot of ways, that's
It,
exactly what I would expect because he's supposed to be traveling through the multiverse and correcting stuff that's gone wrong because of his messing with Sheldon's
it,
experiment.
but yeah, it's nothing. It's just like I'm like this is anti comedy. So I'm like this is not even like the original show at all. Like this is like a original show not deal with sci-fi stuff at all. Like why are we making this?
Yeah, well,
That's
they've never
literally
said.
how spin-offs work.
Yeah, like if you look at Mork and Mindy to Happy Days or Laverne and Shirley, they were both sitcoms, or spin-offs, but they were nothing
Rick,
like.
I know. You want to get ambitious? You want to get ambitious with your crossovers?
Okay.
Both of them are around electricity, but their designs could not be further from each other. Blanca and Raiden.
Ooh, yeah. That sounds like one to do for sure.
Yeah, I'm already imagining some big monster thing similar to Blanca with a straw hat on and wearing right clothes.
Yeah, well, he's green, bent over, Blanca, Raiden standing straight up. I definitely think that's a good idea, that one. Outcast says Sub-Zero has his own game, and he said for the E Honda Scorpion mix, you could call him 2-ton Scorpio.
It makes me think of the 2-ton tunic from Shaolin Showdown. Which was a really good cartoon. I like Shaolin Showdown. Gongyi Tenpai. That's one of those ones that's kind of in memory hold. You don't really almost ever hear anybody talking about Shaolin Showdown.
Yeah. Shaolin Showdown? I remember Samurai Showdown.
No. So that Samurai Showdown is a video game. I'm talking about a cartoon
Oh,
called
okay.
Shaolin Showdown. That was on.
I
Kids
just heard
WB.
that. I just heard that name from the. It came out around the time I was born, but I never.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
never actually.
It's a really fun kids WB show.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh. Like yeah, but like so I saw that trailer. It's this is like some Doctor Who thing or something. Well, like I think it's more based in science. It's like a live action Rick and Morty than anything else. When I saw the trailer, like what the hell? Like this is not Big Bang Theory at all. But okay, that's how spin-offs work. So
Yeah, yeah. I'm wondering why you're so surprised about it. Like, none of us are shocked at all.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I heard the premise, just with the premise itself, you know, what's his name from the comic shop messes up one of Sheldon's inventions and it breaks the multiverse and he's got to
I
go around
didn't
correcting.
know Sheldon hated it. That's the
Or,
thing. That's the thing. I didn't even know he made inventions. If this was Steve Urkel, I can see that. But like, what? This is
Well, see,
Sheldon?
Sheldon just does whatever he wants whenever he wants. If he
yeah,
decided he wanted to start inventing things one day, he would.
yeah. Well, young Sheldon, he was trying to do that, do some inventions. And I think they even did a few inventions in the thing. Well, they did the gyroscope thing that the military took on them. He was working with Wolowitz and Leonard on it, and in fact, ultimately, it was Wolowitz's idea originally, and he got on board to helping try and invent it, and then the military liked the idea and hired them to do it. Or make it or something. I forget exactly all the details, but so there was invention stuff going on even in the thing. They did apps at times, tried to do apps, different stuff like that. So the fact that Sheldon wants to do an experiment or make something, do some sort of experiment, and then, what's his name breaks it and it ends up into the breaking the multiverse somehow or whatever, and him and I think his wife from it or girlfriend have to go around correcting everything.
Now,
From
see,
that,
that's the most unbelievable part. How that guy ever hooked up with anyone.
yeah, but the thing is, at the beginning of the show, you know, well, maybe not the beginning, but when they originally introduced him, he wasn't quite as pathetic. He became they made him more pathetic as the stuff went on. Like he actually went out with Penny once, near the beginning, and Penny was sort of interested.
Yeah, I remember that.
When at that time he wasn't as pathetic as they made him later on in
No,
the
I
show.
think he was always pathetic. They just didn't realize it.
Yeah. Maybe. Who knows? But from what the show showed, I wouldn't say he was quite as pathetic. Because he was a lot more confident. You seen him with his art and all that, They didn't, I think him doing something with his a comic would have been neat in that show, but
no, I'm disappearing to the chat now. So if you're still yeah. So goodbye, Metal and Rick. If
okay, later. Okay, so let's see.
Also, making me defend a show I don't even like. No, it's kind of like, dude, I felt this way back when I think it was in my youth group, right? So this is like near the end of high school. And, I used to be into Harry Potter when I was like really young and I kind of grew out of it. Still was keeping up with the books, but I wouldn't say I liked it. But then there's like so-called fans of it in my youth group. Like people were like claiming to like it a lot. And they were just saying things that were just not true at all. Right? Even talking about like, yeah, I like it, but here's the bad parts about it. And I was like, that's not true about either the books or the movie. why are you making me come in here and defend something I don't like just because you're not saying facts?
Yeah. Oh, well, most likely they read it, I would think, but, unfortunately, a lot of
I think
people.
most of them had only watched the movie. So, like, getting wrong about the book stuff, I would understand. But even getting things wrong about the movie you watched is kind of weird.
Yeah, but to defend them a little, sometimes you watch a movie and you don't remember it correctly, everything. Although, not the best excuse, but sometimes you have to be reminded, hey, that isn't exactly how it happened in the movie.
Or at all, like how it happened.
Yeah. But
The
yeah,
people, it's not like I understand too if it's been a long time, right? Like I misremember things too. But if I'm misremembering, I'll be like, hold up, let me check myself. I'm like, I'm not going to say something with super confidence.
yeah, I
It's
know
like,
what you
yeah, it's
mean.
been a decade since I watched that thing. I'm not sure. But like, then there's the other hand of people who just don't even pay attention to the thing they're watching.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Probably a lot of them aren't even paying half the attention that they should be, or whatever, or they have a very short memory. Because I watch a few movie, TV show reactors, and they say they have a very short memory sometimes. You know, so it's like definitely not a good thing.
Yeah, not a good thing when your entire job involves you having a mostly accurate account of the thing you're talking about.
Yeah, and by short memory or whatever, they more mean they're like some. Well, probably more like all of us. Something that they'd seen years ago that they don't recall well or whatever at all. You know, but it is what it is. Like I don't know. Like it depends on how much you're into whatever you're watching too. Like or like there's a lot of movies I've
Yeah,
seen several times.
just don't talk very boldly about it though, right? Like
Yeah,
I'm not gonna talk boldly about, say, like Disney's John Carter of Mars, right? Which
yeah,
their version of the Princess of Mars. I think they just called it John Carter recently. I remember watching it. I remember the broad strokes. I couldn't tell you exactly the differences between it and the Princess of Mars, like novelized form, because I remember the book more than the movie.
yeah, yeah. Well, unfortunately, some people just they don't realize how much they forget,
Yeah, I guess,
or
yeah.
you know. Where I think probably me and you might be a little bit more conscious of that for whatever reason. Fitzjoseph says people are still complaining about the ending of Chainsaw Man. Don't understand what's the issue with Denji eating himself. Then again, I have no issue with the ending in reading Chainsaw Man. Joseph said.
I don't know. I I don't even think it's that controversial of an ending. I think it's not like the Attack on Titan ending, which was really, really controversial in the fact that it kind of like split people down the middle as to how they felt about it. Chainsaw Man, from what I can tell, it's really just a vocal minority who didn't like it. They wanted Denji to have like a happy life afterwards or whatever. I'm like, this is not the type of story we're reading, though. Like, you know what kind of story we're reading, right?
Yeah. My buddy Van Hooser says, and he DM me in Discord. He's like,
You know?
talking about the character. He says, "Man, he looks silly. They really don't make superheroes cool looking." Well, some they did in the 1940s, some they didn't. You know, like you got Superman from 1939. So, you know, some they didn't, like you said, did, and some they didn't. You know, each one, and it was a different time back then too. And he says, "Name one." I think I just did. Superman. Well, I guess it depends what you think is cool looking too.
Yeah, well, at the time they
But
thought that was cool. You know, what is cool changes with the times.
yeah, and he puts a bunch of things with us talking about the different things. He goes, "Nerds, nerd fight," and then he's got Stephen Urkel battle time. But even new superheroes, they don't look cool. Again, it depends. Some do, some don't. It's all for that sort of stuff. It's all about throwing spaghetti to the wall.
Yeah,
And
sorry, not everybody can be as cool as Dante from Devil May Cry. You know that the bar is up there, and nobody can pass it.
yeah, and what everybody's definition of cool is different. And Von Hoser, why don't you put this stuff in? I know you can't do the picture stuff, but why don't you put these comments in the main um chat? That way they're easier to read, and I can see them easier. Because I have it up so I can see while I'm drawing. Uh, Interest in reading. Oh, he means Fitzjoseph says he has no interest in reading. I think that's.
I
what
kind
he
of
means.
assumed that what he meant because I just don't imagine Chainsaw Man being something he would read.
Oh, he has an interest. You think he means he has an interest in reading it, or no interest?
I believe the word interest is replacing issue in his previous statement.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking he says I have no interest in reading.
Yeah, yeah, and that's because I don't see that being something that he would read.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying it was something that you could see him reading. Was
No, 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 no,
misinterpreted.
not at all.
And Chainsaw Man, that's the character I drew a couple weeks ago. Bomb Devil is from that, I believe, if I
Yes.
remember. He says I can't type on YouTube channel unless I create a channel. By creating a channel, you don't literally. Well, you do, but you don't. You create a channel, but you don't have to do anything with the channel. There's lots of people that quote unquote create the channel just so they can type, and they never put any sort of content up. Nobody's expecting anybody to have necessarily content. That's one of the stupid things I think about YouTube, that you have to quote unquote create a channel to talk, although you have an account. Do, 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 do. And I'm not even sure whether you're going to answer this, but Fitzgerald says, "What do you see me having an interest in reading?"
The obituaries.
Something horror esque?
No,
Or
it's just a
some.
lot easier to figure out what he wouldn't like than the other way around.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. Yeah, because I know when I initially started wanting to talk in the chat, I created a channel, but I hadn't put any content up. I wasn't planning on putting any content up when I initially made a channel because I just wanted to talk in the chat. But then I thought, after watching a few people, I can do this. Well, I can, but can't. Mine is very unique channel. Bloody murder, says Outcast. And this is probably Van Hoser texting me. Oh.
Oh, I've got good news and I've got bad news. The good news, I'm inking. The image is taking shape.
Oh,
The
that's
bad
good.
news, the person the gift was for is coming home early.
Yeah.
I think he's taking the day off for his birthday, so it's like,
Well, it's good news that you're, I guess, getting done. It's bad that he's coming home early. More for you than anything.
yeah, because it means I have to hurry up.
The heck? I'm doing the color that is there, yet I go over this, and it's a completely different color. How is that possible? Nobody's gonna notice. I think he looks a little bit younger looking than thing. Maybe I'll shade this one, lighten shade it a little bit because I got the extra little bit of time here. But what do you think so far?
I've got a reference image up on my screen. I'll have to wait till it catches up on YouTube on my phone.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he looks like you hit him with a shovel, but otherwise, all right.
So you're saying the face looks a bit flattened?
Dented, maybe.
It's noticeable. It says, what's noticeable? CJ Josh. And hello, CJ Josh. Okay, so let's get shading. Oh, and everybody, be sure to check out after this video my combining Orko and Toad. Orko from Masters of the Universe and Toad from the Super Mario universe together. It's like a 4.5 minute video, something like that. And make sure to like, share, and like and share it, and leave a comment saying what you think. As I was saying a little earlier, after we're done doing that, so starting about June 16th, we'll be starting to combine Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter characters. Which
Mortal Wombat and Beat Fighter.
Beat Fighter. Yeah, I'm planning on putting up maybe a poll on Twitter and a poll on my my community tab about what I should call it. There's, of course, Mortal Fighter, Street Combat. I know there's a couple others I was thinking about. I can still see the different shades of yellow in the lightning bolt.
Oh, that's what they meant by it's noticeable.
Yeah, if you go like right in like that, but if I'm out like this, I can only see, except for that one spot, I think there's only, and I don't know why that is, because it's on the same bloody layer. And I'm literally selecting that color. So, I don't know. Even zoomed out, I can see it. Yeah, I guess if you're really focused, you can see it, but
It could be more pronounced on his monitor than yours. Right, like even that might vary from the color differential on your monitor. Some of them have more distinct colors. That's one of the reasons why I look on multiple monitors before I publish something.
Yeah. I just don't know how to correct that. Like I literally, grab the select tool. I grab the color. And I go there, and then I use fill lasso, and I go around that area. And it does that. I haven't. Yet if I go anywhere else and do the same thing, I don't know why it's doing that. That is the weirdest thing. Like right there. Is it because there's red behind it? Take the yellow out. But there's red behind it all. Like, I have no idea why it's doing that. And heck, if I do right next to it, it ends up being the same. Yeah, I guess I could try erasing it again because I had erased some black in that area. And I'm going literally over top of it. Okay, so we'll try this again. Select the yellow. And then we will... Okay, well, that did do it. Erasing it and then putting it back in. I don't know what I did in erasing and putting it back in, but it
You
worked.
did something.
Yeah. Have no idea what I did, but I did something. I did something, and I don't know what I did. Except for erasing. CJ. Oh, CJ Posh says, I'm satisfied. I guess I am too. I'm glad I was able to do it, but like I said, it confuses me why I had to. It was so hard to do. You learned a valuable lesson. Don't give up. Yeah, if it was comic or something I was actually doing, something that I would consider important, but this is just. Hopefully, I'm getting people to come by, check out my channel, and do like, share, all that. I see that different shade of yellow still in the corner of lightning. Okay, so I now know who OC Josh is. Or, yeah, CJ Josh. CJ Posh, not Josh.
No, we're only allowed to have one Josh around here.
Although I suspected I might have known who CJ Posh was with having said some stuff.
What you guys? I'm back by the way. But what I was gonna ask, what's your opinion on writing about things you don't like? I get a lot of negative feedback from that all the time.
It depends. Are you being paid to do it as a job?
No, just writing spot about things you don't like.
Or are you trying to make?
Like spite writing.
Mm.
I personally do not have any positive feelings towards spiteful writing, but you know, you do you.
For me, it's more if you, I'd say channel, but if you want to do it as you're doing reviews or whatever, in a sense, for people, sure.
No, like I'm writing writing a story. I'm just include stuff you don't like to have them get killed or something. Like kind of like what Garfinis does.
Yeah, I don't really have a positive opinion on it.
Yeah, I just don't see any real reason to. It takes away from the. I think it would take more away from the story just to trying to force something like that in.
Well, make a whole story about this is I don't like this thing, so I'm just gonna have this thing be evil and have it get killed. Like,
Yeah, well,
because I'm not sure if you,
even doing
I'm
a
not sure
whole.
where. Okay, go on.
Even doing a whole story about it, it's. I guess it's. Well, you as Metal said, you do you or whatever. If you want to do it, do it. Um, Probably it's not something that I'm probably gonna read, but I think it would hinder it because most times you're gonna make the story good if you love what you're doing or like what you're doing.
Well, I mean, you could love writing the thing that they dislike dying, you know? Like
Yeah,
to me it feels like there's a category of things called event art where it's like you kind of do it because you feel you need to get it out of you. A lot of that on the internet. I'm not particularly a fan of vent art, but it's a thing. It's like a lot of people's replacement for therapy, though it's not even a direct replacement. Some therapy does call for you to do things to get things out, like write letters you'll never send, or let's write a novel about something that's frustrating you. But typically, you don't end up ever showing anybody else that stuff.
No, because but I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but Garth Ennis, because he's British, never read superhero comics as growing up. So because they hate superheroes, the only superheroes he doesn't hate are Superman, Wonder Woman, Spider-Man, and Punisher. That's it.
who is this?
Captain Future. This is literally in the title of the stream. This character is Captain Future
Yeah,
from Starling Comics or whatever.
Yeah.
No, the guy he was talking about, Garth Ennis, is the creator of The Boys, among other things.
Garth Ennis is great. Yeah, it's great. He also created Crossed, Stitched,
Preacher.
Preacher. Yeah, Preacher was also got a TV show.
Worked on Hellblazer for a long time too.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
the creator of this character from the 40s doesn't like superhero comics or only likes, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Spider Man?
No, no, no,
Wait,
no, no,
no.
no,
I think we're talking about two
no.
different
He
people.
not. No,
Okay.
no, 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 no. No, Garfield is still alive. He's not. He wasn't alive in the 40s.
Oh, okay. Okay, I just got confused because it seemed like the same topic. Wet
No,
stain. No,
but
it's called shading, CJ Posh.
okay, but like Garf, yeah, like Garf, yeah, Garfield is like just like but he hates superheroes. That's why he made multiple comics about hating superheroes. It's not even just the boys. He also did the Pro, and I hadn't read the other ones, but I read the Pro, and like a bunch of them. But
Okay.
was like yeah, it was like he made
Well, I think also, if you wrote the original voice, like the
yes,
comic, then
yes.
it's he got good at writing at some point. I would think before he did that. So I think to do something like that, you need to be half decent or better than half decent at writing. Like I look at my stuff from the 20s when I was in my 20s, and it's crap. I didn't know what I was doing. I barely know what I'm doing now. And I think Metal would concur with that.
That's a reason why you have me come in and help.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like half of our sessions. It's not just making sure that all of the dialogue sounds good, but is also in a way that like the artist can understand what's going on because he writes a lot of his scripts almost entirely in dialogue form. I'm pushing him into putting more detail in there. But the other part too is almost like being a creative writing teacher and forcing Rick to make decisions and giving him some criticism and critique on those decisions, but still helping him find one that he wants as a writer.
Pretty soon, I'm gonna have to write another script for Gryffindor, another origin, another intended first issue, but not an origin. But that's not gonna be an origin, but intended first issue. I need to be better, learn how to be better at condensing a lot of stuff in order to get as much plot in a single issue as possible.
Possibly. I mean, I don't know. It all depends, right? I don't even know if getting as much plot into something as possible is always the solution. I get if you're like, you're trying to get the most bang for your buck. I could see that perspective, but sometimes having too much plot in something can be a detriment.
Yeah.
And try to make a single issue the equivalent to a single episode of a TV show. So I got to condense as much. So instead of doing what like what Ryan Michael Bendis does, where you try to stretch it out, I'm doing the opposite. I got to condense as much into this one issue as possible. Uh,
They used to do that a lot, though.
Yeah,
What you said?
I'm not sure whether that's something I know you want to get a lot more out or get a lot in there, but depending on how many pages you want to make it, I'm not sure whether I'd say that's worth doing it because you'd probably sacrifice your in the writing and a lot of stuff.
I
You
think
know,
it really just depends on
uh,
how it's being written, right? I think
yeah,
having too much dialogue is often a detriment to whatever you're writing. You can find dialogue-heavy comics all throughout the history of comics, but the more you put onto the page, the more it strains the reader, and the more it strains the reader, the more likely they are to either put down your comic or not pick up another one. But your mileage will vary on that too. There's a lot of things you can do to make the page less straining. Like you can create good eye flow, panel layout. There's all kinds of different aspects to it. But if you're going to write like a comic, you need to know more than just like writing a story. You also have to understand the makeup of a comic You have to understand a lot of the art stuff, even if you're not the person doing the art, at least on like a meta level, right? But typically, if you want a lot of plot, like a lot of information, you want to try to do it with as few words as possible, right? Like you can have a lot of panels that show time moving without having to necessarily be bogged down by dialogue. So you would like to show more of things, and it's not about show don't tell, because comics are about show and tell. But a lot of the tell is through visuals and not necessarily through what people say all the time. It's a very
Yeah.
complex medium. It's not just like writing a book. It's not even just like writing a TV show, though. Framing a TV show is almost as equally difficult once you get down to that portion of it. But you could write a script without having to worry too much about that. The director can take control of that later. But
Yeah.
like writing a comic is one of the more difficult things you could write if you're trying to actually please the reader and not just get something out you want to get out.
Yeah. Outcast says something that would be very much along what lines what you're saying. He says, the art can help you with putting more into the plot without saying anything.
Yes. But it's a very specific medium, right? Like if you're going to learn to write for anything, you have to learn to write for whatever medium you're going to be in.
Yeah. And I'd say
Like
for
when
what? Go ahead.
like when I wrote that Tiger Man script, I was like, I gotta do something more. I realized I'm looking back at it, I realized I got to do something more condensed than this. Because because when I look about it, that feels like a half an episode of a TV show or something. In
Yeah.
terms of how stuff that happens. I'm not sure if Metal here agrees with that plot, that script.
Oh, it's been a while since I looked at it.
Well,
So I don't really have like a frame of reference, but I also don't view comic scripts in the same frame as like the length of a TV show, right? Because like a lot of my comics, if you just read them straightforward and you're not looking for like I'm putting an Easter egg or something, or if you're not sitting there to think about it, because a lot of what I make, you're supposed to like actually think about the page, and if you're not, you're gonna whiz by it. It takes like 5 to 7 minutes to read one of my comics, but I could take that exact same comic because the nature of comics are your brain's supposed to fill in the space between the panels, and I don't mean the gutters, but like the panels that aren't there, the implied panels. I could take the exact same comic script and I could turn that 5-minute read into a 20-minute episode.
yeah. Well, I'm
With
more,
the same amount of plot. We don't have to add anything to it.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say with me, when I was reading comics, I found most comics with the 22-page thing took me maybe about 20 minutes to read. Go through per thing. On average. Somewhere could have been a little bit more, some could have been a little less, depending on the dialogue. So that would, I think, definitely have something to do with it, and you don't necessarily need to make it the same length. Feel like it's the same length as a TV
No,
show.
hit all the story. Gotta hit all the story beats of an episode of a TV show. That's the thing.
Yeah, but you don't
But
have to cover all the same. You do, but you don't. I'd say. I don't know about a lot of other comics, but like my main thing is superheroes. And then another thing I noticed for the majority of them back in the 90s, early thousands, and probably before, most of the stories had thing. You would come into it, you'd have the hero face the villain, get defeated, and then go away, figure out how they might beat the villain, come back, and they face the villain again, and that's the end of the comic. Yes, there's others, I would say plot filler, but I'd say filler, but stuff to pad out the story for making it
Yeah.
engaging. Like getting to
But
know
it
the
is
character.
also just a completely different medium, right? Like
Yeah.
the comic book predates the TV show. The only thing you could relate to at the time is a radio program. Those are like the only things that had like a fixed length that would be similar to a TV show now. And they weren't trying to even be the same length of a radio program. Some of them, if they were adapting it or trying to be in that same zone, they might try to feel like a radio program, even using the narration boxes to sound like maybe somebody's doing an audio read of a book on there. Not all radio programs had narration outside of maybe like the intro or ad spots, but some of them did. And that's the only comparison you can have. And they weren't trying to do that, though. They weren't, because they knew that your mileage will vary on how long it takes anybody to read something. Some people whiz through comics anyway. Some people spend a lot of time on the images. Some people like to ponder what's being said in the comic. It is a medium that is designed for you to read at your own pace. So you should only put the amount of plot, if you want to call it that, or amount of story into a page or into a set of pages that is necessary to tell the story you want to tell. It's a flexible medium. It's not even about hitting beats. Now, there are some beats that are special to comics that are nice to hit. Like you want to think about the page turn if you're going to think about like physical comics, which means that like even though you're writing page by page, every set of odd and even page is technically a 2-page spread. So you only get that page turn after every like even page. If we're counting the inside cover or whatever, the previous page as the first odd page. Technically, if you're starting on like a splash page or whatever, a landing page, you're technically starting on page 2. But it's like every set of 2 pages, even individual pages are a 2-page spread. So only on the opposite page do you ever get your page turn. And you can set up a lot of things for page turn and put all your beats on the page turn. You just have to kind of learn the medium itself.
I know that a lot. 4 jump scares on page turn. I know that a lot.
Yeah, if you're going to do a jump scare, that's the best place to put it. Because technically, you can't jump scare somebody before the page turn because they could see everything in the corner of their eye. So it's like their brain is already aware of it before they scan over. So you have to put it there.
Outcast says Fitzgerald will watch some silent movies so you can see how the plot moves without the actual subtitle. Is his suggestion if you haven't watched many silent movies.
Yeah, because like that script I wrote for that one issue script I wrote for Tiger Man was that was like a test run. That was more like a test run than anything else.
Yeah.
Where he goes into the brothel to fight the dominatrix. But probably not even gonna make that.
Well, the thing is, you can always go back to a script and rework it so it's better. Like as I was saying the other day, I typed in a script for Ozona. Back, it has to be from the 90s, and it's got 13 pages. I know it's probably supposed to be a little longer with how I'll say it ends, with what the pages I have. I might have the other pages around somewhere. I don't know where. But there's so much in that one that needs to reworked. But I would like to go back into it and rework it for one of Ozona's, scripts in the future, like a year 2 or year 3 script, or what I would consider year 2 or 3, like between 12 and 24 or 24 and 36, because the story itself is all right, but there needs to be a lot more fleshed out in it. If that makes any sense. Anybody there?
Yeah, I think I probably have somewhat of a unique perspective on this, especially when I consider the webcomic of X Dynamis Chaos, because it's an adaptation to begin with.
Yeah.
So like I have, you want to read something that takes longer to read. I have prose versions of much further than where I am in the comic. Right, we just finished the sixth chapter in the comic, and I'm like what I want to see 19 chapters in on the prose version of the web novels on the and most of those they're shorts, right? They're short pulp length. They average somewhere between 2100 and 2300 words per chapter. They're not very long, but they do still take longer to read than a chapter of the comic does, and they read differently than the comic does because you operate differently depending on what format you're working in.
Yeah. For sure. Oh, I just noticed we're at 9 o'clock. But you know what? I think I'm gonna finish this up because I started it and I just want to finish the lighting on it. I really just got two things to do for the lighting: the yellow and his hair. And again, I should have hit the record button on this. I should actually go back and download a bunch of these. I just don't like the editing part.
The editing part is my favorite part, personally. Uh, it took me a while to actually record the voices I need, but sometime this week I'm going to be editing shorts for the short comic I made, Awesome Max.
uh,
Yeah, so that'll be fun. We'll put those up on YouTube one page at a time. And then maybe even the whole thing as a short too, because edited together, those 6 pages are probably going to be short enough to still fit into a YouTube short. Since you get 3 minutes now. 3 minutes of playtime.
Yeah, I remember Bonesaw. My favorite Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I did,
I love Macho
but
Man. He's great.
yeah,
but I never saw him when he was alive. The song, I was not. They took wrestling off of network television when I was like 9. Even then, but I didn't care by the time we got cable. Well, we got cable. So.
I don't even like wrestling. I just like Macho Man.
yeah. I watched him as a wrestler in his heyday or whatever. In the when he was really when he was popular as a wrestler. Back when him and Hogan had teamed up for a while, the Mega Powers. I think it was at the the Mega Powers Explode? Was that at Skydome? Maybe. I'm not sure. I was at.
I am not the person to answer that for you. The person who would have that information probably off the top of his head has already started his show.
Yeah.
Uh,
At one time I would have been
and
able
probably
to.
already ended it by now.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, actually would have been ended by now. His show would have ended 4 minutes ago.
Well, it depends on whether he was exact on time. I think he ended a little early last night. Anyways, so although yeah, his face looks a little dented as you're saying, I think he looks a little younger than that picture there that I got up there. But
Definitely makes him look very boyish.
yeah. So we have what's Future, Captain Future. What do you think of? What do you guys think of my job on Captain Future?
It's not horrendous.
Yeah.
His face looks more like I forgot what's that character's name.
This one, Captain Future.
No. I say his face doesn't look like Captain Future. His face looks more like I forgot what that other character's name is.
Little Nicky.
No, it's an old Golden Age character with blonde hair. Who was a Fred's man knockoff, but he's some I think it was kind of something wizard. I forgot.
Well, there's lots of, there's Captain Marvel.
I think
There's a lot.
Stardust is wizard.
Okay.
It looks it looks more.
There's a lot of Superman knockoffs in that
Yeah,
game.
Stardust Super Wizard. Exactly. That's what it looked like. It looked like Stardust Super Wizard in terms of how his physical appearance. It doesn't look like the actual Captain America from High Droid.
Yeah.
It's-
Hey,
Yeah,
well,
Stardust Super Wizard. Yeah, it's kind of mean though.
so yeah, it's the end of the show. So I'm gonna ask. I know probably the answer. Fitzgerald, anything you would like to share?
No,
Promote. Okay. Metal. Anything you would like to share? Promote. Yeah. See you over at Hero Shack Outcast. That's where I'll be in a couple minutes.
Yes. Sorry, I had to go get the link, and I'm over at my drawing desk, so my microphone isn't over there. But xdynamuschaos.com, you find basically everything I'm working on over there, including when I do get those shorts up, I will probably have a blog post about them embedded in. So you can even find the YouTube channel. All the links for everything X Dynamis Chaos are over there too, easily accessible. And if you don't even want to have to remember, if you just want to be updated with X Dynamis Chaos news anytime it's relevant, you can sign up and subscribe to the website and it'll go straight to your email. Isn't that convenient? But yeah, that's what I'm promoting.
Awesome. And again, thank you, Fitzgerald, for coming on. Thanks, Metal, for coming on. And guys, remember, if you haven't, check out my 4.5 minute video of me combining Toad and Orko together. We're calling them Torko. That is up. That went up earlier this morning on my channel. Remember to like and share it out. And even this, remember to like and share it out. And if you're not subscribed, remember to subscribe. And thank you very much for tuning in. Bye for now. God bless. Love you all. Have a great and wonderful day, night, whatever it might be for you.